welcome back. Today we are revisiting this caster bracket. I'm going to show you a second way to build it. Previously we built it as a solid, then we converted it over to sheet metal at the end. Today we're going to build it as sheet metal from the ground up. So I'm going to grab myself a new part. When it opens up, I'm going to get into my sheet metal tab. Now if you do not have your sheet metal tab up yet, easy way to do it. These are your tabs here. Now you probably at least have features and sketch. Now if you right click on either of them, come down to the tabs menu, sheet metal is one of the options. So I turned it off so it went away. Now I can right click on either features or sketch, come down to my tabs menu. There's sheet metal. There it is. I just brought it back. Now before we start drawing, this is in metric. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to put myself in metric. And I'm going to open up the sheet metal tab. I'm going to start this with a base. It's going to ask me where do I want to put it. I'm just going to slap it onto my top plane. I'm going to start off with this surface here. See, it's 30 by 44. So I'm going to start off with a good old-fashioned center rectangle. And I'm just going to make it 44 by 30. So center rectangle right on my origin point. And you can size it using Smart Dimension or the way I did, key it in as you draw it. Excellent. Now I'm just going to exit this base. And since it knows I'm working with sheet metal, it's automatically going to ask me, okay, how thick do you want this sheet metal? Look at our drawing. It's 2.38 millimeters thick. So I put that value right here. I can either make it thicker, or I can make it thinner, running with the 2.38. Excellent. So now I've got this flat surface on top, but I need to add our edge flanges to it. So it wants to know, where am I going to put this edge flange? And I'm going to put it on this edge here. And I'm going to come around and I'm going to put one on the opposite edge over here. Oh, reselect this menu up here. There we go. I got one on each side, and I can either have them go up or I can have them go down. I'm just going to have them head the same direction as the drawing that I'm working on. I'm going to have them go down. Now, I'm going to work my way through this menu. It wants to know if I'm using a default radius of 1 millimeter. Well, no, my radius is called out as being 3. So I'll untick that box, turn my radius up to 3 millimeters. The angle of 90 degrees, that sounds good. I could alter it if I wanted to, but 90 is what we want for today. Now the length of this flange, if I look over on my drawing, it's 60 millimeters to the center of the hole, and then it is a radius of 10 down to the bottom. So 60 plus 10, I'm going to go with a length of 70. Good. Now it wants to know my flange position. Now for this one, here I'll change my view. You can see the edge of my original base is equal to this inside of this flange, and that's what I have in the drawing. So this original piece was 30 wide, which means I'll have a gap of 30 in between these two. Now on the other hand, if I wanted the whole thing to be 30 for the width, I click over here. So I can alternate between them. You got different options here. For today, we want this gap between them to be 30. Excellent. That looks pretty good. So I'll save that. And my shape is starting to become something. Now I'm going to come over here into my sketch menu, and I just have to start actually shaping this thing. I'm going to throw a sketch onto this surface. Now I just mentioned this radius of 10. So I'm going to draw myself a circle, and I will Smart Dimension it. Radius of 10 is a diameter of 20. There we go. Get into my selection tool, and I will make this. Click the circle, hold shift, click the line. I'm going to make them tangent. Click into space. Click the circle, hold shift, click this bottom line. Make them tangent. Click into space. Okay, so this is going to form this bottom curve down here. Well, now I need this diagonal line that will become this face. Now to make that, use my line tool. I'm going to start at this point here. I'm going to come down near the circle. All right, near it, but not touching it, almost to the bottom of my my face here. Now I'm going to get out of my line tool, get back into my selection tool. All right, I'm going to select the line, hold shift, select the circle, say make them tangent. Now all I have to do is trim off this little extra tail down here. There we go. Now this is the outline that I'm actually looking for. But I want to have a hole in the center here. That's easy enough. Just grab myself another circle. Make sure I put it in the center, and it's going to have a diameter of 8. So there we go. So now I need to cut away these extra pieces. I need to turn this sketch into a cutting tool. Easiest way to do that, say convert entities, grab this line here, my bottom line, and this line here. And I say, yes, I want to bring those lines up into my current sketch. Now I'm going to trim away some excess. I do not need this piece or that piece. I need to cut away here, so that's good. I need to cut away here, and I need to cut this center, nothing else. So now under my features menu, I can turn this into an extruded cut, and I can select which areas, the selected contours down here, I select which areas. Well, I want to cut this away. I want to cut the circle in the center, and I want to cut this little bit on the corner. And I want to cut them through all. There we go. See how that's starting to look like my bracket. Now on the other side, you can see I've got this little keyway. Well, that's just going to be another sketch. I'll throw it up on this surface. I will convert entities to bring this circle up onto my current sketch so I can reference it. And I'm just going to make myself a little center rectangle. And the keyway itself is 6 high and 2.5 wide. So I'm going to make this center rectangle 6 by 2.5. And now I will simply use my selection tool. I'll zoom in. I'll grab the center of this line. And I'll hold shift and I'll collect the center of my circle. And I will say I want those two to be coincident. I want them to land right on top of each other. Excellent. Now I can go into my features menu, say extrude cut again, and it wants to know, well, what contours, what part am I actually cutting? There you go. I select the little piece out of that rectangle that's going to make that little keyway, and I do not want it to go through all because I don't want it to go through the second one as well. I'm simply going to go up to next. And there we go. I have a keyway through the one, but not the other. And we're almost to home. All we have to do is put this hole in the top. So I will put another sketch onto my top surface of a circle. And it has a diameter of 14.5. There we go. Once again, I'm just going to turn it into a feature. Extruded cut. It says up to next, because that's what I did on the last one. And there we go. You have yourself this nice bracket built in the sheet metal menu. Nice thing about building it in sheet metal is you'll notice down here you have this ghosted flat pattern. It stays there because one of the beauties of building in sheet metal is all I have to do is I come up to my sheet metal tab and I have a flatten option. So at any point in time, I can push that and it squishes this down flat. Once it's flat, I can look at it and I can take measurements off of it so I know what shape I need to cut out to actually be able to build this. So if I now evaluate it, I can take measurements from this edge all the way over to this edge, and now I know that it's 166.4 millimeters from edge to edge. And if I get out of that, I can do another measurement. If I zoom in here from this point to this point, I can see that it's 3.29 millimeters from the edge of my base flange to where I was actually able to start making this angled slope here. So that's how much metal was consumed by that 3 millimeter radius curve, is 3.29 millimeters. So I'll write those measurements down, and when we come back for the third video, I will show you how to build this again, but we're going to build it from flat sheet metal and then fold it. All right, hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in video 3. Hope you're having a good day.